you could spend a little bit of time here, you could spend some time over here, you could spend some time over there, really have yourself spread out at that point in time. And then come tournament day, you've got just barely enough understanding of any part of this system that you're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions and not be the best in any one area. That's something that I've never had a good understanding exactly how that works, or how if you stick your finger in the water and just how salty does it need to taste to be like there's not going to be any bass here. Hey everybody, welcome back to the BPT study time, looking at the next event, and this would be stage 5. Yeah, we've got through Red Crest heavy hitters and stage 5 for our season. And this one, if it looks a little different on the map, it's because it's not even been mapped by Lake Master. You zoom out here on this card, and up here at Chesapeake Bay, all that has been mapped. I don't have the card in there because it looks a little bit better without it on this particular spot. But yeah, stuff around here has been mapped. But the Chowan River is a new stop for any national tournament, to my understanding. I think there was a classic on the Albemarle Sound, I believe is how you say it, one time. I don't know exactly where that went out of, but that is what the Chowan River feeds into. So it is a tidal fishery. It's connected to the ocean. That's the Atlantic over here, ain't it? That's the Atlantic, right, JD? Yeah, that's the Atlantic Ocean. Just making sure. But yeah, going out of Edenton, North Carolina, a completely new stop for us. And honestly, the first tidal fishery we will have fished on the Bass Pro Tour season, or the tour schedule. I was curious as to when we would do that, and then we actually have 2 this year. This one, as well as the next one, are both tidal fisheries. So be our first tidal fisheries. As a whole, I, historically, I've not done great on tidal fisheries. I enjoyed the Potomac. I've fished several Everstarts and stuff there, and always did okay at the Potomac. Had some decent finishes and stuff. Some of the other ones have been very hit and miss. Was that because they're tidal fisheries, or just because I didn't figure them out? Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Sabine being one of those where I've had 1 or 2 okay ones, several that were not. So yeah, tidal fisheries and myself are just kind of never know what you're going to get, to be quite honest. Here at Albemarle Sound or Chowan River, whatever you want to look at, you've got several different places I think we're going to be allowed to go. We don't have our schedule of events yet, so I don't know what our boundaries will be here. I'm certain we will have some. I don't think it'll be a free-for-all that we can run out in the Atlantic Ocean and go down to Santee Cooper or something. There's going to be some boundaries on here in some capacity, but just from the stuff I've researched of it online and looking at on Google Earth and stuff, the neat thing with this place is it looks like it's got a lot of cypress trees, and the fact that it is a tidal fishery. We're there in the end of May, early June on my deal. So yeah, I think the practice will start like June the 1st. End of the tournament's June the 8th or 9th is the final day. So early June is when we're there, and actually Jenny and the kids will all be there with me for this one, and the kids will all have birthdays while we're in North Carolina. They've not had very many birthdays at home in their whole life. But yeah, just looking at it, there's a lot of cypress trees, a lot of little creeks, a lot of little rivers and stuff. And usually on those tidal fisheries like that, current is obviously a big factor. It'll flow out, it'll flow in, just depending on what the tide's doing and stuff. And being that this is an early summer, I expect these fish to be postponed and to really it should be a good time of year to be there, because those fish should be relating to that current. They should be really wanting to feed up well, and finding places where that current is magnified a lot of times it can be really good. I think of the best event I had on the Sabine River was the time that we fished there in June. Obviously, a lot further south than here and a lot hotter. I think it could be very hot over here in early June, but it was all about current and all about finding the places where that current got faster. Finding places where it could be just as fast as it possibly could be. And I think that's why that was my best time fishing in that one in particular because it made a lot of sense when I really thought about it that way of trying to find places where the current was fast or the current was hitting, and that really helped me dial in exactly where those fish were. So that was something I looked at, but this a lot of different little fingers, and this is the main river arm going up through here. It's kind of straight and kind of seems fairly uniform till you get up here. It starts narrowing up, and then you start getting a lot of these fingers and offshoots and that kind of stuff. And looking at it on Google Earth and different mapping, it seems like you could run a long, long ways up this main Chowan River arm. Seems like you could get a long ways up through there. The Roanoke River is part of this as well. That I think you can one of these other arms that you can take it and go up. And that Roanoke River comes out of like Kerr and then to Lake Gaston and flows down through there. So there's definitely a lot of water available to us in this one. If you get out into this main part of that Albemarle Sound, the thing that's interesting on those tidal fisheries, and again, this being a completely new place for me, there's going to be some point out through here where you start getting into water that's definitely brackish, and then you'll start getting into water that is too salty for bass. And that's something that I've never had a good understanding exactly how that works, or how if you stick your finger in the water and just how salty does it need to taste to be like there's not going to be any bass here. Um, but generally speaking, you could run out into that stuff that is brackish or a little bit too salty, but then turn and go back up another one of those tributaries and get back into places where there could be a population of fish. That's even something that's out as far as a place like this particular tributary. No idea what the name of it is. But you could get out into here, and then you can kind of see it's pretty big and wide here, and then boom, you get back into this part, and it really starts necking down and getting some curves and stuff to it. Just the way my mind works is that water there wouldn't change quite as much from there back. That this water that's whatever water that's coming in that's fresh is going to come out at least till you get to that big body, that big body of water there. One unique thing about this one though is the fact that it has this canal system that connects it to something else that could certainly allow for more salt water or brackish water to be being fed back into it. So you may have to get all the way back into this even before you get to a population of bass. So that's kind of those places that are further out towards the mouth of the sound or something. Just the way my brain works on the tidal fisheries, I need to go to the back because I know it'll be fresh water, and then I can kind of start fishing my way back out towards the mouth and see where it seems like I start running out of a population of fish. As far as ways to catch them and kind of what I'm thinking here, I expect topwater to be a big player. It is post spawn. It's early summer. Those fish should be wanting to feed. Most of it's going to be shallow water target fishing. So I think a buzz bait. I think a frog, that type of stuff. A swim jig probably will play pretty well. Square bill like Rocco should be a big factor around those cypress trees. And then pitching something, whether that's a small jig or a creature bait, or worm. Seems like fish on tidal fisheries really like a worm awful well. Something straight tail seems like can be a good way to get a lot of bites. But a deal like this, man, it's a very vast fishery, and it's one of those kind of deals where you've kind of got the option of say, I'm just going to take this one arm right here, and I'm going to figure it out. And if I'm the best fisherman in this arm, I'm going to make the top 10, most likely. But you could spend a little bit of time here, you could spend some time over here, you could spend some time over there, really have yourself spread out at that point in time. And then come tournament day, you've got just barely enough understanding of any part of this system that you're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions and not be the best in any one area. A place like this, I don't know that any of it is night and day better than the rest. And it's really just getting into a place like that has the opportunity, that has the potential, and if you can be the best in that zone, best in that area, you should end up being able to pull a good finish out of it. So going into a place like this that's new, that's unknown, that seems pretty large and spread out. Sometimes that's what I'll try to do. I'll either, I may practice a couple different places in a day, but then once I'm like, okay, I really like this place the best, I'm going to go there and spend my whole next day or something to really try to learn that one area extremely well. And if I can do that, I feel like I can be the best one in that area and have a chance at a really good event. So uh, this will this will be an interesting one for a lot of different reasons. It's one I do not know if we will be fishing a 2 pound minimum or, a 1/8. I have no idea. I've seen some tournament results where they catch some giant bags out of this place for especially for a tidal fishery, like mid 20s, even pushing 30 pound stringers on occasion. Is some of the stuff that I've seen, and I think that's why we're going is because of the size fish that have been caught here in local events. So that's pretty exciting. The fact that it's a new body of water is very exciting. The tidal part of it's kind of like, it's neat because it's a twist, but definitely not something that historically has been, overly good for me. So I'm interested about it. It'll be, this will be a unique event, and definitely um, once we get our schedule of events and find out exactly where our boundaries are, then you can really start making some plans. But should be a cool tournament, and hopefully we go there in a new body of water and it's good to us.